Hiya. Yeah, thanks first of all for giving me a couple of minutes of your time to watch this video. It's just to answer a question I got from a guy called DM. His account's named DM. He asks about the methods that I might use for upper body work, which relates to athletic activity that you can fit in alongside this training. It's not predominantly just an exclusive thing that we do, like a powerlifting and bench press. What I do presently, which I believe is more functional than a typical bench press, is I would warm up explosive medicine ball throws. Obviously, don't just jump in with a heavy ball, work up a couple of throws. You're throwing a ball from a standing position, a slam ball, medicine ball, from a standing position, maybe 8 to 12 foot at least away from the wall, using the heaviest medicine ball, two hands from your chest against the wall, trying to throw the ball through the wall. Just an explosive big throw. Rest 20 to 30 seconds, pick the ball up, do it again. You rest in about 30 seconds between each throw. It's not a repetition workout, it's not a cardiovascular workout, it's an explosive workout, right? To light your central nervous system up in a functional way, which affects your core a lot, and your triceps, pectorals, all your body as well. You can use the heaviest medicine ball you've got. 20, 25 kilos will probably be the starting weight. You can get slam balls up to about 50 kilos, 60 kilos. And imagine having the strength to throw one of them from 20 foot hard against the wall. You could get someone who could bench press 500 pounds and wouldn't be able to do that. Because in real life, when we express strength from a pushing perspective, we're on our feet. Very rarely do we push something when we're lying down in real life. This is a bench press, test of strength only when you're lying on your back. But obviously when you exhaust that, you do like one throw. I do one throw, say 30 seconds rest, do 10 to 12 throws maximum, about 12. Really put everything into it. You've got to make sure you have the right technique, otherwise you can hurt yourself doing this, which is really, you're doing a stood up press up. It's like doing a push up, stood up. You've got your scapula retracted. You haven't got your back rounded at the top, you're using the right muscles, and you're also pitching forward with your torso. Brilliant exercise, really good. That's what we start off with. For me personally, after that, I go to what's called a pin press, which is like a bench press, but obviously you take the bar out with the J hooks, lower it to pins at your chest, not above your chest to make it easier, like a half press. There's a full range of motion from your chest, but you unload the bar on the pins, relax a second, then blast it up. It's a good exercise. It's very difficult to tear your pecs doing this, because for a start you can't lift as much weight, even on the eccentric movement. To get the weight off them pins, you've got to use less weight than what you would in a regular powerlifting bench press, which gives it a good stimulus to fatigue ratio. I usually build up to a comfortable maximum with that. Sometimes I don't do it at all. Sometimes I go and do heavy-weighted deficit press-ups, where I'm between two boxes, and I'm doing it's like doing a McDonald cambered bar bench press. I don't have a McDonald bar, so I can put my body between two boxes and do a basic push-up or press-up with weight on my back, so I'm stretching the pectorals. This, because of the extra range of motion, really gets the scapular retraction going in my upper back, which to me was the missing link for bench pressing. But it teaches me when I do bench press to push my back into the bench. It's much more efficient that way, much less likely to get hurt. And for all the guys who have some wear and tear, can actually press ups actually can be a great exercise, because you can get a lot of work done with them. You can put a lot of volume in, and you don't necessarily get that torque you're using your body with. I'm a big believer in them now that I'm trying to do other things. And I know, because I know if I move my pin press up, my actual competition powerlifting style bench press can't go back over. And at the same time, I'm getting better at other stuff that is more important to me as I get older than just chasing a 420 pound bench press or whatever. And then that's all I'll be able to do, right? Because a lot of people who, and I'm not disrespecting anybody who wants to do that. It's amazing if someone in the 50s and 60s bench pressing that weight, but what you'll see in the overwhelming vast majority of people who do that, it's all they can do. They can't do anything. They can't throw a ball, or they might get hurt. They can't wrestle, or they'll get hurt. They can't punch, they'll get hurt, because they're just one-dimensional, right? And they haven't got the strength and the ability, their areas to put that strength, and they haven't got a technique to put that strength into anything that's actually that can benefit them in everyday life, right? That doesn't take anything away from the fact It just means that they're missing out on such a lot of other things. That's just my opinion anyway. The press ups, like I say, can also help make your scapula less dumb. And what I mean by that is, if you watch people who do a lot of bench presses, they don't do any overhead barbell presses, and you ask them to press overhead, right, they won't have the flexibility in the shoulders to get the head through the middle of the bar and lock out like what an Olympic weightlifter would, right? Because they've got weak muscles, they've got weak muscles in the upper back, and the scapula's out firing properly, right? It happens to everybody. The older you get, the worse it is as well, right? So like, you're much more likely to get hurt as well as you get older. But these are the exercises that I'm doing at the moment, and the reasons why. Like I say, I'm really big on push-ups and press-ups, especially weighted ones. I mean, if you can do a deficit press-up with with 60 kilos on them easy vests, I've got my weight plate loaded vests. If you can do 60 kilos or 120 pounds for a deep, stretchy rep, right, keeping your shoulders and pecs safe by retracting scapulas properly, right, your bench press can't be bad. It just can't be. Right? You can get people who can bench a big weight, and they wouldn't be able to do that straight off the cuff. They do it with practice in a few sessions, but the fact that they can't do it straight away means that the bench press isn't as all-encompassing as what people think it is. There is things missing from it, and that's primarily one of them, in my opinion. So these are the things that I do. As for the sets and reps, like I say, on a pin press, it's just work up to a comfortable maximum. On the days that I don't do pin presses, I'll just leave them out and try and increase. I'll do more than what I did last time on the press up or the deficit press up with greater range of motion. Everything has to be progressive, but just by a tiny little bit, not by a lot. Obviously, your own personal history of injuries will come into play as well. I mean, I can't tell you exactly what to do. I don't know anything about how your body works, previous injuries, etc. But that's basically what I do. And obviously, you know, until I go stale, I'll keep it that way. I might want to work up and do a big overhead press in the future, try and beat my personal best on that, which I think I have more chance of doing now because of the increased pectoral strength from doing what I've just described. So you can get better, but you've got to do it as intelligently as you can, based on your knowledge. That's it really. So tell us what you think, whether you agree with me or disagree. Once again, thanks for watching. Any more questions, just ask away and I will do my best to answer them. Until next time, thanks.